Morning. It's Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, and today I'm bringing a short video that describes the various publicly available sources of information and data about deaths in ICE custody. I thought I would do this now because there's obviously an increasing need and an increasing interest to follow the lethality and the mortality of ICE deaths in custody. And I do have that field guide, which I do still recommend, even though uh, the FOIA practices of the agency have made a lot of it obsolete in terms of reporting. But today, what I'm going to do is just show you around the various data points that we have and that are available to you if you want them on deaths in detention. So, like I said, here's the field guide. I created it, nearly 2 years ago, but most of it still works. The ICE page has a specific detainee death reporting filter. And on that page are all of the press releases that are ICE's acknowledgments that someone has died in custody. So that's the primary place that you can go to find the agency's official statement when a person dies. Separately from that, there's ICE's detainee death reporting page that contains the policy. And it says that they post or news release with relevant details on its public website within 2 business days. That's what we just looked at. So here we have a number of death reports. These have gotten worse over time, as I've documented, and these are created in response to congressional appropriations requirements. At the bottom, ICE says falsely that detainee death review documents that have been requested and provided via Freedom of Information Act request are also provided in the FOIA library. If we go to the FOIA library, we'll see only 2 of those have been posted, and none of them has been posted since the current administration took power. Last week, the UCLA Law Behind Bars Data Project premiered a data set that has been fact-checked and cleaned. The data has been cleaned, and that provides a viewpoint going back to fiscal year 2003 that essentially tracks all of these deaths and does some data visualization. There's some downloadable data, and you can actually look and see in a table you can answer a bunch of questions about this data. Um, Eternal gratitude to the people who made this happen. This is a dream. I'm really glad we have it, even though I wish we didn't need it. But you can see this is a highly usable data set if you're looking for just some nice visuals and an authoritative source of information about deaths in ICE detention that the agency has admitted to. You could also look at the GitHub for this data and do stuff with it yourself. Um, this data will not be updated in real time. And so I wanted to then take you back to another data source that you can use if you want to see what's happening in real time. You can go to the tinyurl.com ICE deaths page. And this is the data set that I maintain that has been cleaned by UCLA and inserted into the deaths in custody page. Except when you do tinyurl.com/ICE deaths, you'll get what I am entering into the spreadsheet as it happens. So I'm pulling out the information that ICE has released. I'm putting the press release into a column. I'm trying to document how far it was between the day that they died and the day that ICE announced their death. And I'm trying to put in the death reports for people. So we've got that data. I'm doing my best to differentiate between the types of contractors and the causes of death where that information is available. And I'm trying to include information about the place of death and the detention centers involved. We've got some citizenship information, some DOB information where it's available, the age of the person, the calendar year that they died, the fiscal year that they died, and their gender along with their name. This data with name information goes back to the beginning of fiscal year 2003. But in some releases that have been published by the Deportation Data Project, we actually got death in custody information going back to 2000, the beginning of fiscal year 2000. It just doesn't have names. So we'll be working on getting that, but I did go ahead and enter the facility information, the state information, the date of death, and the country information into this spreadsheet. So what happens if you want more than that, or if you'd like to do a little bit more with this data? So this spreadsheet, which is also publicly available, and I'm happy to provide the link, just let me know, includes a bunch of pivot tables and analyses of this master data spreadsheet from which the tiny URL is drawn. And in it, we can analyze things where, we're trying to figure out, like, are any administrations more deadly than another? Are there deaths, that in ICE facilities that are disproportionately large since a certain date? Essentially, what I'm doing is using pivot tables and data analysis to try and make sense of what's going on. All right. Sorry, Snap. And then, sorry, you guys. So in any event, this is available as well. That I'm creating these data points so that people can study them together. I don't think that people need to be um, replicating our work. I don't think that we need to be. I think it is helpful to try and replicate it just for the purposes of making sure um, it's verified, and so that we can all catch each other's mistakes and you can catch my mistakes. But I think it shouldn't be the case that anybody has to go and create this again. So these are the data points that are available. Let me know if you want this stuff. It is here for you. That is, kind of in my capacity as just a person who tracks this. This is, I think, one of the you know, least I can do in terms of contributions. Um, so let me know if you need the data. It's available. I've got the tiny URL link. I've got the UCLA Behind Bars Data Project link, and then there are the public sources of data from ICE. So it is not what we don't know, right? That's not what we need to be focusing on. I think we need to be focusing on what we do know and building from there. Until next time.